Welcome, everybody. We are here for our second live stream of the day. My name is Lindsey Frank, and I'm the president of the Coalition of Schools Educating Mindfully. And we have our very first guest here, who is Carrie Rohrbach.
Yeah.
And she is a part of our board, an amazing women leader, and a part of our operational team. And as we continue our time here today, I just want to give a shout out to our organization. So at any time, if you would like to visit our website to learn more about COSEM, you can give us a follow, you can subscribe. Our website is down below, so please take some time and explore that as well. And as we get started, I'd like to introduce Carrie, because she is pretty amazing. We always give her just the gratitude for the work that she's doing. So Carrie is in California, and for me, I'm in Illinois right now. And so Carrie is a lifelong learner who is earning her doctorate in transformative action in education through the University of the Pacific. She spent 13 years teaching French in middle school and high school classrooms and wore many hats throughout her career, including administrative assistant, soccer, swimming, softball coach, library assistant, tutor, sustainability coordinator, and technology support. Carrie is passionate about supporting teachers and centering their wellness through mental, emotional, physical, relational, and spiritual exploration. She is a certified yoga teacher and social emotional learning workshop facilitator through Breathe for Change. She has earned COSEM's micro-credential, and we'll actually highlight that here then in this moment, that throughout the month of March for the micro-credential, you can have a 10% off discount. So if that is something that maybe after hearing Carrie's story, you might want to embark on as well, feel free. And she currently works as an edupreneur and entrepreneur, consulting for schools, coaching educators, and supporting those who seek to deepen the connection within themselves. So Carrie is here today. You can also give her a follow at any time at Empowering Educator. And so Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful to have you. And thank you for celebrating both SEL Day and being an amazing, like I said, women leader in our space for International Women's Day. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsey. It's amazing how things just kind of like come together, right? Because so I was a teacher for 13 years and totally burned out of the classroom. And when I realized that many teachers did not know how to center themselves within the classroom and their needs and their wants, I decided that that's really what I wanted to do with my life. And so I started to do this edupreneurial endeavor, and it led me to COSEM. I was looking for, different organizations that supported educators, and when I saw that COSEM had mindfulness-based social emotional learning, I thought, these are a group of people who are going to bring in what needs to be in schools. And the micro-credential I thought was really interesting, because at that point I wasn't really sure like what I was doing with my life. I was like bartending and babysitting and tutoring and like doing all of these little odd jobs, and I didn't really know like where it would lead. Fast forward, 2 years, I helped to organize the Educating Mindfully conference in 2023. I became a board member. I became an operational team member. It was like I dove in headfirst to COSEM because I felt that this organization was bringing something to educators specifically. I do think that we see a lot for students in wellness and social emotional learning, but the educator piece is what was missing. And I think that's the thing that was really aligned for me. So to be here now and to now have an opportunity to help grow COSEM's mission and offerings has been really amazing. And then, with the micro-credential, I have read the book, I've watched all the modules, I still need to like make my little lessons and stuff, but that's forthcoming. I'm getting a doctorate, so things are a little busy. Yeah. But for anyone who is an educator or wants to support educators, it just feels like such a beautifully aligned piece. And since we know that the majority of educators are female identifying, right? Like we have a ton of women who are in the classroom who are coming with their own need for social emotional learning, mindfulness based social emotional learning. I think about what's possible when teachers can center their own wellness and then exude that in the classroom. And I really think COSEM is such an amazing stepping stone to making that possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing and connecting all of those different pieces. And so you brought up just the fact that there are a lot of women in our space, and especially with today being International Women's Day, I know you're doing a lot of incredible work and advocacy work. Would you be willing to share some of the work that you're doing in that space?
Yeah, so what was interesting was, like I said, I started this edupreneurial journey and then I kind of needed to not. I kind of burned myself out of that as well because I found my way to this doctorate program. And the doctorate is through the University of the Pacific, and the title is Transformative Action in Education, which when I saw that, I was like, bing, 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 like there's something here that like I need to know. And what it's really telling or what it's really training educators to do is to understand that like the system is what it is. It hasn't changed much in 150 years. It probably isn't going to change much, but what we have control over is how we show up in the space. And so putting sort of my entrepreneurial, edupreneurial endeavor on pause, what I'm really interested in is conducting research over the next couple of years as I, dive into the dissertation process that really centers, why do educators have such a hard time taking care of themselves? And how does that translate to like a dysfunctional educational system? Because we know that teachers are burning out at an extraordinary rate. And what I really feel is the missing piece is kind of that looking within. So, how do we become mindful of our own actions and needs? And how do we set appropriate boundaries? How do we center ourselves? How do we remember that we are whole people and that we are educating whole students? And how can centering those things be transformative within an educational space that, like I said, is probably not going to change? So it felt so important to be able to like pause what I was doing and let me just dive into this work. And I know that with my work with COSEM, I'm connecting a lot of pieces that I think, like I said, a part of the solution is like, oh, wow, I need to become aware of myself. I need to become aware of my triggers. I need to become aware of my glimmers. I need to become aware of these things that can make me feel whole as an educator so that then I can show up the best possible version of myself for my students and my colleagues, because we know that when we center our own well-being, there's this incredible ripple effect that happens throughout our communities.
Wow. And I love that about just that wholeness. And you also brought up the importance of the glimmers. And that's just such a powerful, I think, even takeaway from here in this moment of just even allowing that. And for those who are viewing here, just allowing that to resonate with the heart space for a moment and knowing that you're whole and complete and we are in this together. And this full self-awareness of that missing piece of our own self. Carrie, thank you so much for bringing that and advocating for that and seeing that within ourselves so that we can see that in our world. And then when we see that, we can take the bold action. Thank you. So, anything else that you wish to share for the advocacy work or COSEM, or even your experience with the mindfulness-based SEL and how you see that in schools? However you'd like to take that right now, we'd love to hear a little bit more from you.
Yeah, what I think is really interesting is that there's a lot of conversation about like what teachers need. And a lot of what happens is sort of a band-aid. There's a lot of, oh, hey, we're going to give you, I don't know, lunch at a professional development. We're going to give
Hang on.
you
bulletin board or yeah.
We're going to give you a discount on yoga classes, but no time to actually do it. It's a lot of it's very surface level. And what I think COSEM is so good at championing is that we need to develop our own personal practices that are then going to help us embody what it means to be a mindful and social emotionally literate human. Because it's all well and good to put together a whole bunch of lesson plans and hand them to a teacher and be like, here, you have to do SEL, 3 times a week in your class. But if a teacher who is overworked, underpaid, overcaffeinated, under-resourced is then asked to put this on top of everything else they're trying to do in the classroom, they are not embodying what needs to be in the space. And what I found within COSEM is that it is a group of educators and leaders and coaches who understand the importance of their own personal mindfulness practice, because it's in that stillness, it's in developing that awareness that then we show up in a completely different way. I was noticing even over the last couple of days. So I've been out of the classroom almost 3 years now, and I've got a bunch of stuff on my plate. And I noticed that, I know this intellectually, but it was starting to finally settle into what I know is that
Yes.
when I just jump from one thing to another, because I've been used to wearing many hats, I've been used to sort of efforting and striving for the things that I think I want. But the more I slow down, the more I pause, the more I breathe, the easier all of the rest of it becomes. And when I show up after having just sat for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, breathing, reminding myself that I am loved unconditionally, that I am enough exactly as I am, that what I'm doing is important, that all of that is more than just doing. It's incredible what shifts when that pause comes in.
Oh, again, that's such a beautiful and powerful thing of just the pause. We talk about the power of the pause. And again, I appreciate how you shared. It could be 1 minute, it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be whatever is needed. But the power is in the pause. We can make that pause what we need, and honoring that and noticing and having that awareness to notice how does that pause shift within. So thank you for bringing that up as well. And I'm wondering, for the next few minutes, would you be willing to guide us in perhaps a practice that we can do together or something we can embed into our classroom to honor the pause?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first important thing to remember is that we are more than everything that's happening right here. We have incredible brains, and they are smart, and they're trying to help us to survive in every single second. So, in order to remind ourselves that we're safe, the first thing I usually tell people is just look around your space. So, take a moment, and if you're watching this live stream, I ask you to do this as well, and just look around your space. Maybe notice something that brings you joy. And then take a moment and come back to your whole body. Maybe wiggle around in your seat. Notice your relationship to support, which could be under your feet, under your seat, behind your back. Maybe take a moment and just feel yourself. Say, oh my gosh, I have a whole body. I am more than just a brilliant brain. And then if it feels ready and accessible, I'll invite you to close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And begin to bring your awareness to your internal space. Notice any sensations, the layers of clothing on your skin, the sturdiness of support. the temperature in the room. And notice your breathing. Generally, when our attention comes to our breath, we begin automatically to deepen it. So see what that would feel like. Notice your heart space. Does it feel open or constricted? Is there any movement that would feel just 1% more comfortable to do? And because we don't exist in a vacuum, and we don't hold the responsibility of solving everything on our shoulders, we're going to connect across time zones, and we are going to breathe collectively. So take a moment and exhale all your air out. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And take a moment, bringing your awareness back to your heart space, and just see if there's anything that wants to be known. What is a reminder that you would like to tell yourself in this moment? You are enough. You are brilliant. You are an inspiration. You are capable. And allow those words and anything else you want to remind yourself of to just settle into that heart space. We'll take one last collective breath together, exhaling all our air out. Inhale, deepest breath yet through the nose. Biggest exhale. Whenever you feel ready to start to blink your eyes open, you could look down and remind yourself that you have support underneath your feet, underneath your seat, that you have a body that is incredible and capable. And then look around your space and remind yourself that you are supported, you are safe, and that this spaciousness and joy and connection is available to you in every moment. And when you're ready, come back to this space and see our bright, beautiful, shining faces.
Thank you, Carrie. That was beautiful. And what I took for myself was when I was standing here, I just really was connecting back to, like you said, that stability, that foundation, and just knowing that really being fully present here in this moment with you and guiding that. So thank you very much for that and for all of what you shared today. And as we close, I want to just make a couple of announcements here for those who are here with us and watching the recording. If you wish to find out more about Carrie, you can give her a follow, again, at empowering.educator. You can also give me a follow as well at LindseyFrank88. And if you want to find out more about our organization, perhaps you might want to follow us if you're not currently already at EdMindfully, but also to subscribe to our newsletter and resources. You can find our events, our circles, our support that we do as a community that Carrie has shared about. And you can visit us at educatingmindfully.org. And then our final announcement here is to honor SEL Day. Yes, very exciting news is that we are going to be offering a 10% discount on our microcredential. Again, Carrie had shared about that and the impact that it's had on her practice. So we will invite you and empower you to take that bold action step to become and earn your micro credential for mindfulness-based SEL. So we hope to connect with all of you soon. Let me go ahead and find our schedule again. So you can come back on at 11 o'clock Central, and Mimi will be our next guest. She's also on our board. She is Mimi from Mimi's Yoga Kids. So we are excited to be able to share there. And in deep, deep, deep gratitude for Carrie and the work that you do. We are forever grateful for everything. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will hopefully see you on the next live stream. Bye for now, everybody.